I never thought the happiest day of my life would turn into the darkest memory. I never thought the woman who raised me, who wiped my tears, kissed my bruises, and promised she'd always be there, would look at my newborn baby and call him trash. But what happened the next day changed everything forever, and she has never been the same since. Before we dive deep into my story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you love true, raw stories like this, and leave a comment telling me what you would have done if you were in my shoes. Now, buckle up, because this is not just a story. It's a lesson in forgiveness, love, and what family really means. I grew up in a small, sunny town where everybody knew everybody. My mom, Sarah, was kind of a legend there. The single mom who raised me all by herself after my dad walked out before I could even say dada. She was strong, fierce. She worked 2 jobs to keep food on the table and a roof over our heads. To me, she was superhuman, untouchable, perfect. But even the people we worship are still human, still capable of breaking our hearts. I was 17 when I met Damien. I still remember the first time I saw him, messy black hair falling into his dark brown eyes, that lopsided grin that somehow made me forget every bad thing that ever happened. He wasn't perfect, far from it, but he made me feel seen, special. My mom hated him from the start. She said he looked like trouble, that boys like him don't stick around when life gets hard, that I deserved someone who would build a future with me, not just a fantasy. But I was young, and in love, and stubborn. At 18, I found out I was pregnant. Telling my mom was the hardest thing I'd ever done. I can still feel the heavy silence that swallowed the room after I said the words. I expected shouting, maybe even crying. But what I didn't expect was silence. The kind of silence that makes your skin crawl. She didn't say anything at first, just looked at me like she didn't recognize me anymore. Then she whispered, "You just threw your life away." Those words haunted me every night after that, but I knew deep in my bones that this baby was my new beginning, not my end. The pregnancy wasn't easy. Damien did his best to stick around, but reality hit hard. Bills, doctor appointments, fear. He started pulling away little by little, and eventually he stopped answering my calls altogether. Mom said, "I told you so," but I wasn't doing it for Damien. I was doing it for my baby. Fast forward 9 months. After hours of labor, blood, sweat, and the kind of pain that tears your soul apart, I held my baby boy in my arms for the first time. His name was Eli, tiny, pink, with a tuft of dark hair, just like his dad's, and the brightest, bluest eyes I had ever seen. I cried harder than I ever had in my life. Happy tears, proud tears. I wanted to call my mom immediately. I wanted her to be the first to meet him. I thought, maybe seeing him would change everything. Maybe she would realize that this wasn't the end. It was the start of something beautiful. She came to the hospital the next morning. I'll never forget the way she walked into that room. Stiff, guarded, almost cold. I smiled at her, holding Eli close. "Mom, meet your grandson," I said, my voice shaking with hope. She walked closer, looked down at him, and then her face hardened. She didn't reach out to hold him. She didn't smile. She just said flatly, "He looks like trash, just like his father." I froze. My heart shattered into pieces right there. She turned away like she couldn't bear to look at him or me any longer. And just like that, she walked out. I sat there numb as tears spilled down my face. I pressed Eli closer to my chest, whispering promises into his tiny ear. Promises that I would love him enough for both of us, that I would never let anyone make him feel like he wasn't enough. I wanted to hate her in that moment. I really, truly did. But the thing about love, real love, is that it's messy, complicated. It doesn't just disappear because someone fails you. That night, alone in the hospital room, I cried harder than I ever had before. Not because I regretted having Eli. I never would. But because the person I needed most had abandoned me when I needed her most. I didn't sleep. I just held my baby, feeling his tiny heartbeat against mine, wondering how everything had gone so wrong. The next morning, I was packing my things, getting ready to leave. When there was a soft knock at the door, I turned expecting a nurse, but it was her, my mom. She looked different, smaller, broken. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. She didn't say anything at first, just stood there, tears streaming down her face. And then she said the words I never thought I'd hear. "I'm so sorry." I stared at her, unsure if I could believe it. She walked closer, hesitated, then reached out her arms. "Can I hold him?" she whispered. Slowly, cautiously, I handed Eli to her. She cradled him against her chest, her tears falling onto his soft blanket. "I was scared," she said. "Not of him, of losing you, of failing you. I didn't want you to have to struggle like I did. I wanted more for you. And when I saw him, all I could see was every fear I ever had coming true." She kissed Eli's tiny forehead. "But I was wrong, so wrong. He's not trash. He's beautiful. He's perfect. And you are so much stronger than I ever was." I broke down, sobbing into her shoulder. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe again. From that day forward, everything changed. My mom became Eli's biggest protector, biggest fan. She was there for every late-night feeding, every diaper change, every milestone. She was there for me. And even though the scars of that day will always linger in the corners of my heart, they are a reminder that people can change, that love can heal what fear tries to destroy. Now, whenever I look at my mom holding Eli, who's now a wild, giggling, mischievous 3-year-old, I know one thing for sure: family isn't perfect. But when it's real, when it's raw and honest, it's worth everything. And sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones who will fight the hardest to make it right. So if you're struggling with forgiveness, if you're carrying a broken heart because someone you love hurt you, hold on. Healing takes time, but it's possible. Thank you for listening to my story. If you made it this far, it means the world to me. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. I'd love to hear your stories too, because we are never as alone as we think we are. You are stronger than you know. You are loved more than you realize. And your story is far from over.